right. Well, I hope you're enjoying the Alden Report as much as I am. I'm having so much fun bringing you cutting-edge information and from entrepreneurs, from thought leaders, from authors all over the world. And I'm really excited to announce something. I'm speaking this September of 2018, at the Future Tech Expo in Dallas, Texas. It's actually September 14th, 15th, and 16th, and I'm speaking there. It's an amazing event. It's one of the biggest blockchain, Bitcoin, and tech expos in the world. People like Tim Draper and Randy Zuckerberg are going to be there, and you can rub elbows with some of the smartest people in this world. September 14th, 15th, and 16th. If you text Bluevase, again, text Bluevase to 555-888, you can be my VIP. I'm going to give you some discounted tickets, but you can also be my VIP. There's an opportunity as well to have dinner with me and my team, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this world of cryptocurrency, of Bitcoin, of blockchain, and the future of technology. Again, text Bluevase to 555-888. If you want to be involved in this world, if you want to grow in this world, if you want to take advantage of the biggest opportunity of your life, then you need to be at events like the Future Tech Expo. Again, text Bluevase to 555-888. I'll see you there. All right. Well, my name is Michael Alden. I'm here in Bluevase Studios. Before I get started, listen, if you are enjoying the Alden Report, I would really ask for you to go on iTunes, like it, rate it, share it with your friends. Because look, I'm giving people real information about real stuff. Right now we're doing a lot of stuff in the world of cryptocurrency, obviously, and I really enjoy doing this, and I want to get this information out to as many people as possible. So again, if you are enjoying the Alden Report, if you feel as though that it's adding value, please like it, share it, rate it, do all that stuff you're supposed to do within this world of podcasting. So I really, really would appreciate it. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, all those places. All right, so we are going to talk about something that, a lot of people talk about. A lot of people, claim to be honest about this next topic. I don't believe that I've spent a lot of time talking about it. I've talked about it with other guests on my podcast. But this topic is something that each and every person on this planet has to deal with. And that topic is the struggle. For some of you who have listened to some of my podcasts or maybe read my books, Ask More, Get More, 5% More, and Blueprint to Business, you might know a little bit about, my struggle, growing up. It wasn't easy, man. It was a difficult way to grow up, but I always tell people, in fact, I started my first book, Ask More, Get More, with the line, "Thank God I was born poor." There were a lot worse situations than mine growing up, but man, it was tough. And, growing up with nothing, growing up in the projects, growing up with a single mother, growing up surrounded by crime, drugs, violence, wasn't easy. Like, every day was a struggle. And as a kid, your parents do a pretty good job, at least they tried, at least my mom did, try to, kind of make you less aware of that struggle, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But, as you get older, you start to realize, what's going on. You start to see the struggle. You start to see the eviction notices on your door, or when, your mom's car gets repossessed, or Salvation Army, coming, to your door, or my mom going to the local food shelter to get food so they could put it on the table. And again, man, I'm not trying to, so this isn't a pity party, none of that stuff. All of us in this world have some form of struggle. And one of the things that I've come to realize now at this ripe age of 43 years old, and again, you hear people talk about it, and a lot of people like to create these memes on Instagram, right? Some sort of image, and they give you some sort of inspirational quote, something that they might have made up or ripped from somebody else. And we all have our struggles, But I think a lot of people don't necessarily feel what I felt and what I continue to feel. A lot of people are born into great situations, and they haven't really experienced real struggle. And it frustrates me that there are people out there, especially younger people, I see these guys, I see kids now writing books about success, like kids, like 10-year-old kids. It's like, come on, man. Really? You're barely out of diapers, and you can't explain to people what it really feels like. What it really feels like to get kicked over and over and over again. And I believe that there are a lot of people out there in the social media world that are just really kind of doing the masses a disservice by just kind of pushing out information that's just not real, man. It's just not real. Like, I know what it's like to have to want. I know what it's like to have to do things in order to get things and do things that really kind of break down your psychological barrier of pride. I remember going trash picking with my mother almost every day. I remember getting up early in the morning on Saturdays, and my mom had like one of those paper routes, where you'd make, a couple $100 on a Saturday. We had to get up early in the morning and deliver the Saturday or Sunday, I think, newspaper. I remember digging into trash cans to collect 5-cent cans so that I could buy my first bike, And before I decided, I haven't gone straight to Mike in a while, and I just, when you're listening to this, I'm not giving you this information to make you feel bad about me, but I'm giving you this information to let you know that you're not the only one if you're listening to this. But the big thing that I've realized is that the struggle is constant. It just changes and it just evolves, and it's just a part of the human experience. And, I've recognized this over the years, but over the past year and a half, 2 years for me, I've really started to embrace it. That saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, is a real thing. And it makes it a lot easier in life and in business to be able to recognize that the struggle is real, that it's going to happen, that it's not going to be easy, that you're going to get knocked down, that you're going to, get made fun of, that, you are going to experience what a lot of people call as failure. If you've read any of my books, I don't like to talk about failure. I tell people I've never failed at anything in my life, but I've been defeated, and I get defeated every single day, And I'd say within the past 6 or 8 months, man, my business life has been absolute hell. Things have happened to my business that are outside of my control. I hate even saying that. There were probably some things that I could have done to prevent some of the catastrophic things that have happened to my business. And I tell you, man, there were times where I just wanted to give up. Just wanted to give up. The struggle was real. It was too real. It was painful. It caused chaos in my personal life. It caused chaos for people that work for me. And we're a company that has generated hundreds of millions of dollars. And we continue to generate millions of dollars on an annual basis. But there was a point where it seemed like it was over. It seemed like no matter what I did, or no matter how I moved, or what decision I made, or how I pivoted, it just continued to get worse, or it was just one thing after another, after another, after another. And when I embraced the struggle, and kind of said to myself, all right, man, well, I know that tomorrow is going to bring another challenge. I just know it, and I embrace it. Well, let's celebrate the wins that we had today and recognize that we're going to have challenges tomorrow. Let's celebrate the wins that we had today and recognize that we're going to have challenges tomorrow. And if you didn't have a win today, just recognize that you will have a win most likely the next day. And a lot of people in business don't like to talk about this stuff because they feel vulnerable. They feel as though that they made a mistake, and we all make mistakes. And again, some of the business things that have happened to me, maybe I could have prevented them as the CEO of my company and multiple companies that I run. You look back and you say, okay, well, if I had done it this way, would it have turned out differently? And I don't see a problem in looking back at the past. You just don't want to dwell on it. But you look back and say, man, if I had done it this way, do you think this would have happened? And if you feel as though that something in the past that you've learned from can obviously help you in the future, yeah, you pay attention to it and make that change and implement that process. But, there are days, even when you have a victory or you feel as though that you've overcome insurmountable odds, you're still going to have those days where it just hurts, right? It just hurts. And sometimes you might not even know where it's coming from. We're human, and a lot of people don't understand that, we are emotional beings. We are beings that are affected by our environment. We're affected by the things we put in our body. We're affected by, things we hear, see, feel, touch. And sometimes you don't realize the things that you're doing, the things you're seeing, or the things people are saying, how they could have a negative impact on your life. But, as a human being, you have to understand that it's just not always going to be easy, and sometimes you just might not even know why. You just might not know why. And when I look back on my life and the struggles that I've had, from back to the childhood to missing the bar exam by one question to declaring bankruptcy with one of my first businesses, it's hard to see the silver lining in those moments when you're going through it. But if those things hadn't have happened the way they happened, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I can give you multiple examples of, if I hadn't failed, or if I hadn't have had to shut down this business or that business, or if I hadn't have had to have made that tough decision of letting that person go, or what have you, or scrapping a business idea that we spent a lot of time and money. If I hadn't have done that, or as a result of those decisions, something positive generally happens after that. But it's really hard to see when you're going through it. So when you see these memes and you see these people out there that say, excuse me, they say things like, oh, the struggle is real. It is real, and I've put myself in situations where most people can't even imagine the stress and the impact that one decision can have on people's lives. And it's an awesome responsibility that, I've given to myself, when you have people that work for you. And but you also have to recognize that as a human being, as an individual, you have to think about yourself too. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, and I tell my executives, at the end of the day, if something were to go wrong where, the businesses were to end, at the end of the day, I'm the one holding the bag. I'm the one who is left to answer questions to creditors and things like that. And one thing that I've also found that I if you've got to this point and you're listening right now, I think I want you to listen carefully, because I feel as though this is really, really helpful in business or in life. If you're going through a difficult time and there are multiple parties involved, like in business, if you're dealing with financial crises and cash flow issues, and you have vendors, you have banks, you have landlords, you have all these other things. What I found, and this 100% works because I've had to do it a bunch of times in my career, having started this business with literally nothing. When you have open, honest, and candid conversations with those people, things get done. Other businesses that support your business understand the struggle. They get it. So if you can have an open, honest, and candid discussion with vendors, landlords, creditors, etc., what it does is it allows them to then think about what you're going through and how they can possibly help. Because if you read my book, Blueprint to Business, I talk about worst case scenario. If you're in a situation where you owe somebody money, for instance, the worst case scenario would be for you and for them, you don't pay them and you declare bankruptcy. And if you declare bankruptcy, they're pretty much shit out of luck. Pretty much. If you're in that dire of a situation. But if it's somewhere in between and you owe somebody money, or you're behind on whatever, on some sort of obligation, and you let them know where you're at and what you're trying to do and some of the steps you're trying to make in order to fix it, most rational business people will help you through that struggle. And it strengthens your relationship. And I've been fortunate throughout the years to have some very, very solid business relationships that are essentially friendships as well. Called connection capital. I talk about it in, I think, all my books, connection capital. I've been very fortunate to be able to develop those, to foster those, so that I can pick up the phone and say, hey, look, man, this is where we're at. This is what's going on. Trying to fix it. I'll keep you updated. I know I owe you X amount of money, but hey, right now I can't pay you. And that's also kind of difficult for some businesses, some of the smaller ones, when you're a business like mine, when you're generating millions and millions of dollars. See, my business, depending on the life cycle of it, as far as like on an annual basis, there are times where we're operating at a loss in order to get to another point where it's profitable. So if you're dealing with a cash flow crisis and you're already operating at a loss, it makes it difficult to try and make up payments if you had already owed somebody before you went into that dip. But having those conversations and just being honest with your partners and the people that you're doing business with, it helps a lot, man. It helps a lot. Being vulnerable is almost an asset. It's almost a bargaining chip. It's almost, if you can wrap your head around it, it's almost a way to put you in a better position. Letting your partners know, like, hey, look, this is where I'm at, man, and it doesn't feel good, and it hurts, and I'm sorry, and I'm doing my best. Again, they're gonna work with you, especially if you're really giving it, the old college try. I mean, if you're a drug addict or alcoholic or whatever and fuck things up, that's a different story. But if you're really trying to run a legitimate business, if you're trying to do the right thing and just things go wrong, just be open and honest. The struggle, is always going to be there, and people say, well, it's got to get easier. And, the successful people that I know, and I know some pretty uber successful people, the struggle is always going to be there. What gets easier is your ability to make the decisions because of your past experiences. As you continue to also develop a bankroll or what have you, or make more money and pay off debt, what that does is it kind of eliminates some of the struggles that you might have gone through in the past. In other words, if you're going through struggles right now with your business that have impacted your cash flow and put you in debt, etc., once you get past that and pay off those debts, start to maybe develop a little bit of a bankroll, maybe pay off some personal debts, and then you move forward, you're still going to have struggles. They're just going to be different than what they were before. And when I say I've learned to embrace it, look, as a human, we can train ourselves and continue to tell ourselves that, we embrace it. Oh, this is great. I love the struggle. Nobody really loves it. Nobody really loves it. What people really love is the chase. They don't love the struggle. They love the chase. Going after your goal, taking steps to move towards that goal. People don't love the struggle, man. The grind is not the struggle. The grind is the daily activity of you going after it. The struggle is when you wake up in the morning and your bank account's negative. The struggle is when you have to figure out how to put gas in your gas tank to get from point A to point B. The struggle is being able to pick up the phone and call your landlord and say, "Hey, look, I don't have the rent this month. I need you to help me out here." Those are the things that I'm talking about that nobody really likes, ever. People don't like that shit unless you're a complete sociopath. But the struggle's real, and it's important to identify it, be aware of it, and recognize that it's just going to be a part of your daily life, and understand that it's not going to be easy to embrace it. It's not going to be easy to work through it. But that classic saying, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, is a real thing. You're going to get through obstacles that most people didn't even think you could get through. And I have recently got through some obstacles where I was at a point several months ago, to be candid with people, and I've openly said this to people essentially publicly. I was at a point where I was done with this business. I'm an attorney by trade. My license is still active. I got some great experience, both business and legally. I could most likely go work at a big law firm and make a huge amount of money with a lot less responsibility than the business that I have. It's just a fact. And I contemplated doing that because the stress and the struggle was so intense. But when I talked through it with my executives and talked through it with some other business partners and even a mentor that I have, we kind of worked through it together about what can be done and how to solve the challenge. And by the way, it's not perfect. Some of the things that I've been going through and some of the fixes that we've put in place, not perfect. But what has happened, though, which is interesting, is that new opportunities have arisen. If you're listening to my podcasts, if you're following me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Mike Alden 2012, you notice that I'm heavily involved in the cryptocurrency world. That didn't just happen by chance. It really happened because I was going through some chaos in my business world, and cryptocurrency became an option for me. That's how it happened. And now I see what an unbelievable opportunity cryptocurrency is. So I was going through hell, was introduced to cryptocurrency a few years ago, started to think about how cryptocurrency could help me in my business and personal life. And then I see the bigger picture of the things like the blockchain and the different currencies that are out there and the applications of blockchain and cryptocurrency. I would have never really seen that, so to speak, or looked at that if it wasn't for the chaos that had gone on through my business life. Still not perfect, still some struggles that are related to some chaos that happened, still fixing it. But now I got this new opportunity that I would have never seen if it wasn't for the struggle that I was going through. So I hope this was helpful for you. I wanted to share this with you. You know, if you've read Blueprint to Business, if you've read my other books, you'll know that I'm a pretty open, honest, and candid guy. I'm as real as it gets. And I give you this information because I feel as though that it's helpful. I hope it's helpful. Again, like I said in the beginning of this, if you like the information, if you're happy with the information, if you feel as though that it's added value to your life, then please share it with people. Please rate it. You know, I think it's 5 stars. If you can give it 5 stars, I'd be really honored. Right on iTunes. Share it with people. If you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube, same thing. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Because I want to get people real information. I want to get people raw, candid, open, honest information that can hopefully improve not only their business life, but their personal life. So again, my name is Michael Alden, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Well, I hope you're enjoying the Alden Report as much as I am. I'm having so much fun bringing you cutting-edge information and from entrepreneurs, from thought leaders, from authors all over the world. And I'm really excited to announce something. I'm speaking this September of 2018, at the Future Tech Expo in Dallas, Texas. It's actually September 14th, 15th, and 16th, and I'm speaking there. It's an amazing event. It's one of the biggest blockchain, Bitcoin, and tech expos in the world. People like Tim Draper and Randy Zuckerberg are going to be there, and you can rub elbows with some of the smartest people in this world. September 14th, 15th, and 16th. If you text Bluevase, again, text Bluevase to 555-888, you can be my VIP. I'm going to give you some discounted tickets, but you can also be my VIP. There's an opportunity as well to have dinner with me and my team, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this world of cryptocurrency, of Bitcoin, of blockchain, and the future of technology. Again, text Bluevase to 555-888. If you want to be involved in this world, if you want to grow in this world, if you want to take advantage of the biggest opportunity of your life, then you need to be at events like the Future Tech Expo. Again, text Bluevase to 555-888. I'll see you there.